Last time we were talking about management, and we tried to understand that there are various approaches to management, and the functions we can understand as technical, financial, or maybe other applications of management. The another addition to the approaches of management has been strategic management, which is a new addition to the whole concept of management. Why strategy? What is a strategy? First we try to understand that and then move on to its application. What is a strategy? The match an organization makes between its internal resources, skills and the opportunities and risks created by its external environment over the long term period for competitive advantage. So, some of the terms that we have to understand is that management is not only managing the internal affairs, but it is an extension where we are trying to include the external factors, as well as we are trying to say that some competitive advantage we have to achieve, and that is why the factors which we include are used as the strategic management factors. Let us see what is why strategic. Strategic because it involves all managerial personnel, because it regards people as the most important assets. It is proactive in its relationship with people, and it seeks to enhance organizational performance, employee needs and social well-being. Earlier in our course, we have discussed that as we are moving towards understanding of management systems, more and more understanding about the human accounting system is taking place, and we are talking about the relationship of man with machine in a much better way. And here the performance, when we say organizational performance, would reflect profit of course, but overall effectiveness of an organization, where employee needs become very important and overall the social well-being, which was not the concern of the earlier theories as we have seen. So, the management thought is evolving now, I should say, beyond even the system's objectives, even though system is included in the strategic analysis, some kind of a system and the interrelatedness of the various variables in that system. Here comes the strategic human resource management. Strategy is used in manufacturing. Strategy is used in any kind of a production system. Strategy is also when you are talking about the acquisitions, or you are talking about the transformations, or you are talking about the joint ventures, these are also the strategic decisions. But one of the latest additions, I should say, is the strategic human resource management in the field of management. Here we have couple of quotations from the writers. Schuller and Jackson, they have said that strategic human resource management is the explicit link human resource management has with the strategic management process of the organization. So, on the one hand, organization has strategic management issues, and on the other we have strategic human resource management issues, and we have to actually combine these two to achieve the competitive advantage in today's world. earlier we were talking about these as the separate categories. Now, Wright and McMahon, they have said that in simple terms, strategic human resource management is all about systematically linking people with the firm. Here, an important issue that you should understand is that in the whole process of management, why we have started talking about strategic human resource management so much? The reason being the realization that other assets might get obsolete because new systems emerge, new technology emerges, you have new designs. Okay, you have now from the automated systems to the computerized systems, you have the robotics, you have so many new systems which are emerging. But so far as human resource management is concerned, older the human resource, or in other words more experienced the human resource, you will find that there is lot of value addition in that. So, whereas in other cases you may still develop new technology, work on the new systems, human resource management you have to look at the strategies where you find that who are the valuable assets for your organization. Because when you combine these two, only then you can achieve the best results and of course, establish yourself in the market competition. Now, when we are talking about management and strategic management, we have to look at 4 different parameters. These are the skills, the knowledge, the creativity and the attitude of people. If you look at the production management system, also you can see that these 4 factors will apply there. If you are talking about even the marketing system, you will also see that these 4 factors will apply there. And of course, in human resource management, these 4 factors are inevitable. So, what we are trying to understand is that the kind of disciplinary boundaries that we have created, that here is human resource management, here is production management, or here is other kind of a management. Actually, with the advent of new developments in management, we are trying to say that you can't do without human resource management, even production management. If you are talking about productivity, quality, even the competition in the market, you need very well trained human resources, highly motivated human resources. You have to retain good people in your organization. That is a great challenge. And so, the management system is now trying to look at the in totality the total system where strategic issues become very important. Now, there are number of influences that we find on the development of human resource management. As I said just now, that human resource management then has its impact on the overall management. So, the 4 groups of factors which are listed by some of the researchers are about the scientific management related factors, strategic management factors, the factors related to human relations, and Japanese management, one example we have given here. We have already done scientific management and human relations management as part of the development of this field in our last lectures. What we have to understand is the strategic management, which refers to long term thinking, missions, objectives and values, planned activities, resources management and proactive designs of systems or proactive directions. You understand, proactive, when we say proactive, there are proactive individuals, proactive thinkings, proactive management. They have to visualize that where the world is going, and proactively can you design certain systems. That is one of the important aspects of strategic management. So, and of course, in addition to this, we are also talking about Japanese management, because that becomes a sort of a model for some of us, the way some of the industries are going, in the Japanese system. And as a result of this analysis comes in our understanding of commitment, development, organizational culture, quality, just in time management. We are also talking about the core flexibility, and we are also talking about the continuous improvement in the system. So, in today's strategic thinking, in fact, we have combined many of those aspects which are also emerging out of the Japanese management system, as has been listed here by some of the authors. Now, in the next few hours, we are going to discuss some of these strategic management issues. If we are talking about commitment, people have work commitment, people have organizational commitment, and we are looking for, and of course, people also have commitment for different things in life, but here our reference is to work commitment and organizational commitment, on which even in IIT we have done lot of research. So, I will be talking about commitment perhaps in my next lecture, but let me talk to you about the strategic management issues, some further details on that. I am taking one issue of values in organizations. Earlier, we were never paying much attention to values, ethics and missions of the organizations. Now, every organization has a mission. You understand mission. Mission of an organization is perhaps the dream of an organization, that we like to achieve this, and they have the ethical considerations now in organization, which is coming up in a big way. Earlier, we were not concerned so much about the organizational ethics and of course, the values. So, the role of values in organizations, whether we talk about personal values or organizational values, this is very important. So, for now I am discussing the values in organizations as part of our understanding of modern management systems and the strategic management. In recent years, management thinkers have started emphasizing on the importance of value-based practices in management. Now, these values, as we see, are due to the realization that values are the core motivating and guiding variables of management, of human behavior, in turn of management. Okay. And we have understood that we are looking at the performance, individual performance, industrial performance, and perhaps the performance of our country to achieve competitive advantage, and motivation becomes a core factor there. And in values, we have some reflection of motivation and guiding variable, because these are the priorities. If you have to do something, you will think about it, and whatever motivates you or whatever are your core values, you are going to work according to that. So, there are values which the person has with him, and organizational values in terms of organizational culture that we can develop, and that is how Some employees say that is an organization worth working. What is there? The organizational values, perhaps they are caring for you, the kind of culture, perhaps interpersonal relationship is very good, the team working is done in a wonderful way. So, there could be many examples of organizational values as well. So, when we are talking about the role of values in organizations, we understand that these values operate at two levels in the organizations, at the organizational level and at the personal level. I am sure all of you will start thinking now your personal values and organizational values. You have some personal values and you have, our organization has some values and which we like that you should also learn and follow those values, okay? And then there is an amalgamation of the two, okay? And if these are the best values, we are achieving excellent results and we become world class. That's the idea of value. And obviously, when we become world class, then the competition we are ahead of others. Organizational values, that are the values written in the value statement of an organization. Every organization now is very careful, and they, in fact, it has become almost sort of a very normal thing for every organization to write about their value, their mission, okay, what's their commitment and so on. Okay. And so, the organizational values are most of the times written by an organization, okay, and they expect that we should practice that, we should value the value of an organization, okay, and then try to learn, try to match and try to see that we come to our expectation. So, organizational values are those written values. So, formally we do make a statement about organizational values, okay. But in addition to this, there could be a culture of organizational values which is also there in an organization, okay, in addition to our written statement, okay. Values become core competency when they are widely shared by members. When all of you share a particular value, all my excellent students, all brilliant students, okay, this becomes the core competency of my organization, okay. So, that means values, you have come with some values, we are inculcating some values, we are creating a culture, and then everyone starts sharing that, and this shared value becomes an important aspect of core competency of an organization, which takes us ahead. And so, in the recent literature of management, we have been emphasizing on the values and the core competencies, which will make us real good in terms of quality, performance, and of course, profit making, and in the gives us the competitive advantage, okay, wherever we are. Now, the personal values, all of us have some personal values, and values we develop during the course of our development. These also play important roles in guiding our behavior. At the personal level, the personal value is a belief regarding something which is held in high esteem and serves to motivate behavior. If you do not like something, you do not have that priority, then that means you do not have values are always the priority out of the given situation. If you do not have that priority, then you will not opt for that. Okay? But if you have priority, if you believe that this is something very important, very good, and I should be doing this, this is my responsibility, then you will opt for that and you will act according to that. And so, we say that personal values play important role in guiding our one's behavior, and these are the beliefs regarding something which is held high in high esteem and serves to motivate behavior. Because if you have positive values, then people will also value you and they esteem. You are in high esteem, others will value you, and then in turn you start feeling self esteem also, because you are very good in values. Okay? And we can all learn this. Not that if you have personal values, you cannot develop new values. You do. In fact, we do get reinforced and we do modify our behavior, because we are getting so many environmental forces, so many reflections of success stories that we have, and we do change our value. We practice, and then that value perhaps becomes your, I should say, intrinsic value, okay, internal. So, next time when you do something, that comes to you automatically. And so, values become very important. Well, when management is making use of the concept of values, while we are selecting people, at that time also we try to look at the kind of values the person has. Okay, that means with what kind of a value you have come to seek job in some organization. Okay, values could be one of the important parameters at that time. Okay. But once we have chosen you, even with an average value, we can train you, we can expose you, we can give you a culture of values, and then you can become a real excellent person for the organization. So, in organizations, some ways by which personal values play a role in organizational functioning are, I have listed a couple of them, not that the list is exhaustive, but couple of them are: personal value systems influence a manager's perception of situations and problems he or she faces. Personal value systems also influence a manager's decision on solution to problems, and personal value systems also influence the interpersonal relations among the managers in the organizations. Few examples we are giving. In fact, value we have taken as one of the main examples of this strategic human resource management factor. Okay. This is one example we are discussing, but there are so many other examples. Say, I will take up commitment next time to give you an idea about how commitment works and so on. Role of values in organizations also is reflected in the practice of professed values, which influence the organizational climate. We are always talking about HRD climate, organizational climate in an organization, and these professed values influence the organizational climate. Therefore, institutionalization of values would result in improved ethical practices in organizations, which would then enhance organizational climate. So, if we are talking about the professed values, we are talking about the ethical practices, you can see that there is a great responsibility of the managers in terms of developing the organizations which are world class and which will actually result into positive gains for an organization as well as for perhaps all the individuals working in that organization. So we are talking about institutionalization of values on the one hand and internalization of values on the other. You understand? Internalization, when you internalize certain values, and when we institutionalize the our organization. Okay. And so there has to be a very close match between these two sets of values if we really want to achieve excellent results. Okay. So in fact, in the recent years, lot of studies have been done in these so the role of values, this becomes very important for us, and we are okay. We will be discussing some of those issues which I have just shown you later. We are going to discuss that a short while from now later. So let us see the ethical standards that we have. Recently I was reading a book that is on, the book is titled the Engineering Ethics. Someone has sent that to me as a gift. So I was going through that. Often I find that engineers, when they are in the manufacturing sector, perhaps they are not concerned with the ethical part of it. They are more concerned with the other engineering aspects of it. But this book that I was reading the other day, I found that this gives lot of ideas about how an engineering production needs to look ethics as part of their overall engineering system. Very interesting book, and also the realization that engineering ethics become very important aspect of the day-to-day functioning of an organization, and of course the person, the manager who is actually functioning in that organization. Therefore, the discussion that we have had today is all about the strategic management, which is the new addition to our the recent addition, I should say, to the thinking of management and the development of those thoughts that we have been looking at right from the day of Taylor to the Hawthorne studies, to the classical approaches, to the contingency approach, systems approach, to the strategic management approach. So you can see the journey, and it goes on, and the subject, as also you can see, is very closely tied within the psychosocial system of any society. So the management system, in addition to its technical knowledge, and as we have seen, some of the ideas like that the skill is important and knowledge is important, all those things. In addition to that, what we find that the social system becomes very important parameter in changing our managerial thinking. So the managerial thought, okay, and it gets embedded into all aspects of the management functioning today. Now this brings us to some other issues which relate to the issue of strategic management. An important issue that has come up with the advent of globalization, competition, and also the social change, I can say, is the issue of commitment of employees in an organization. Now we are finding the attrition rate, and this challenge of attrition rate can be sort of arrested if we have committed manpower. Otherwise, what will happen, that people will join your company and they will quit, and you have to retrain your people, and then the cost of retraining is so much. Okay. But if you have committed workforce, they will be value laden, they will be ethical, and they will really be giving you good results. And therefore, commitment, again organizational commitment becomes an important issue when we are talking about this strategic human resource management, on which we out here we have done researches on public sector organizations, the professionals working in India. We are also working on the gender issues, the commitment, how much women are committed to their work, and so on. So in the next few lectures, then we will take up one of these issues and we will talk about it, and then of course finally the globalization issue that relates to the management system. So I close here, and in our next lecture we continue with some of these aspects. If you have any questions, maybe one question, or I close at this point today's lecture. If there is a okay, would you like to have some reading material on each lecture, or I will give you I think the reading list at the end of all the lectures, which you can continue going through whenever you like. Okay.